Well, hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. Tonight, we are talking about the Nancy Guthrie case. Are we about to get new pictures or video of the suspect? Stick around, lots to talk about on the other side of this.
I've walked through storms in scars and grace, smile through pain with a painted face.
Let's go.
They called me too loud, too much, too strong, but honey, that's the reason I belong. Every scar's a scripture, every tear's a hymn. I found my worth where the light grew dim. They tried to break me, but here's the twist. I turned my pain into a clenched fist. I'm an unbreakable woman, born of fire and pearl. I shine like grace in a reckless world. You can test my faith, you can shake my plan, but I'll rise again. Just watch me judged by the gloss, not the cost. But God don't build weak hearts from gold. He made me fierce and he made me bold. I bend, I pray, I roar, I rise with mascara, tears and battle cries. Don't need your crown, I forge my own. From ashes, honey, I build my throne. I'm an unbreakable soul, dressed in truth and pearls. The fire don't scare me, it lights my world. You can doubt my voice, but you'll hear my name. I'm holy and hood, and I'm done with shame. For everyone called too much, too loud, too real. You're exactly what power looks like. I'm an unbreakable soul, through the fight and flame. My scars are stories, my strength, my faith. Faith in my heart, fire in my curls, forever divine. Clutch them pearls.
Let's go.
Coming in clutch, better tighten them pearls, dropping cold facts. Got the truth for the world, no smoke, no fluff, just the real that we trust. Hold on to your seat, cause I'm coming in clutch. Coming in clutch, better tighten them pearls, dropping cold facts. Got the truth for the world, no smoke, no fluff, just the real that we trust. Hold on to your seat, cause I'm coming in clutch. Coming in clutch. Coming in clutch, better tighten the pearls, dropping cold facts. Got the truth for the world, no smoke, no fluff, just the real that we trust. Hold on to your seat, cause I'm coming in clutch. Coming in clutch.
Well, hello, 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 everyone. Good to see you all. Thank you all so much for joining me. Really do appreciate your time. You could have chosen to be anywhere on YouTube. You certainly have a lot of options. Anywhere on the internet, anywhere in the world, and you chose to be right here. I know your time is very valuable, and I do appreciate you spending some time with me. Today is Good Friday, April 3rd, 2026. It is currently 9:32 p.m. on the East Coast of the United States. Bonjour. Hello, hello, beautiful pearls. Good to see you all. Thank you guys so much for joining me. It's a little bit later than normally start my lives, but it is what it is, isn't it? Good to see everyone in chat. Hello, everyone. Hopefully, you're having a good Friday, literally and figuratively, if you celebrate the Easter. It's almost Easter Sunday. Can you believe it? We are in April. Spring is here. Thank God. It was a long winter. Tonight, we're talking about the Nancy Guthrie case. And are we about to get some new footage? I hope. I really, really hope that they find something and we're going to go over it. They, of course, got this footage after digging and digging, and reports are that they're digging and something might come about, hopefully soon. We've always kind of wondered, why didn't they put more out if they had more? And even, there's reports, if you watched Brian Enton last night when he was speaking to one of the reporters, or sorry, one of the Pima County Sheriff's Office, he was saying that that they really don't have any real suspect at this time. And it always made me wonder, well, if they don't really have a suspect, like a real main person or persons, why haven't they spoken more about this guy? Um, give us a little more information if they know it, if there's more video and all that. Going to get into it. Just hold tight. Before we get started, if you would be so, so kind and please do me a big, big favor and hit that thumbs up button or double tap that screen if you're on the mobile. Really, really appreciate that. It's a big way to help. Also, if you would share this live out, hit that share button, copy that link in any of your favorite social media, uh, Facebook, um, X, Pinterest, for all I care, anything. It all makes a difference in keeping these cases going. We're at day 62, I believe, on this. And of course, it has died down, significantly, but we can't let it stop, especially, in my opinion, with this sheriff's office. With this sheriff's office. And in my opinion, there's probably, after this case is over, maybe even before, there's going to be a lot of housekeeping in that sheriff's office by the voters. By the voters. Okay. Also, if you would consider hyping this video, you get 3 hypes a week. If you don't use it, you lose it. If you would hype one of these videos, they're absolutely free. You got to do it after the live stream. That always helps as well. Let me say just hello to a few of you guys in chat. Good to see everyone. Hey, V. Oakley, Cindy, Miss Dolores. I really pray that they find Nancy. Me too, Dolores. It's getting just nuts. It really is. And it's I was looking at some old cases today. That Brian, if you're familiar with the Brian Schaefer case, that's at 20 years Brian Schaefer's been missing. And it's it seems like all of these cases that many times don't get unsolved, they don't have the person walking out or being taken out of the house or the business or whatever. So I'm praying. Thank you so much, Mr. Lord. Yeah, good to see you. Hello, Miss Smiley's World. Good to see you, love. And good to see you, honey. Miss Mama, Casey, Shari, Bo, hello. Connie, good to see you. Miss Shannon, how you doing, girl? Miss Mama, good to see you. Adele, hello. And seriously, what? Good to see you as well. Justin, love your normal background. Missed your chair and pink light. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. Bombastic. Good to see you, honey. Ginger, hello, darling. Good to see you. Friendly Frog, love that name. Good to see you. There's Ratui. They've been at the intersection holding signs for Nancy. Yeah. Miss Cassie, good to see you as well. Susan, Ginger, let's see here. Hello, Terry. Good to see you. Hello, Honey Bay. Peace of Jesus. Good to see you, love. Miss Lori, what's a hype? After a video or a live stream, if you go to like where the comments are, and it's got like those three buttons where you can like swipe over, um, it'll say hype, and a hype kind of is like a super algorithm, if you will. It really helps push the video out so others can see it. It's like a thumbs up on steroids, if you will. You know what I mean? So it helps. It helps. Thank you, Yvette, for just hyping one. I appreciate that. Thank you, Miss Smiley. Hello, Mish. Good to see you. Cindy, Susan, Kim. Hello. Good to see everyone. Thank you guys so much. I need to thank some people from earlier. Little Black Bear, thank you so much, my friend, renewing your pearl necklace, your membership. Appreciate you. We're going to try to do a members only. By the way, I'm going to try to do it tomorrow. If not tomorrow, then day after tomorrow. Thank you so much, my dear. Appreciate you. And Little Black Bear coming in for like 2 months. Justin, we thoroughly enjoyed the detective work when listening here from Canada since Jack and Lily 11 months ago. Your sweet glaze on the oh, that's so sweet. Thank you so much. That's such a cute thing to say, sweet glaze on the donut. Never heard that. That's so cute. Thank you so much, dear. Miss Lori, appreciate you. You are very kind to me, Miss Lori. Love you and really do appreciate you, darling. Gifting 10 pearl necklaces. My goodness. Thank you so much, Miss Lori. Really, really can't thank you enough, my dear. I really do appreciate it. And let's see here. There we go. Gifted 5 there. Okay. And Miss Dolores again. Thank you so much, Miss Dolores. Tina, 4 months. Love you, darling. Justice for Nancy. Good to see you, love. Thank you so much for your support. Me and you, 8 months. Much love to you, darling. Good to see you. You're an OG. And there's Carrie. Good to see you, Miss Carrie. Almost a year as a member. We just made a baby together. Did you know that? 9 months. You know what? And I didn't have any stretch marks either. How about that? Mhm. Thank you, Miss Carrie. Good to see you. Jimmy, good to see you, my love. Good to see you, my dear. Appreciate you. Thank you so much for gifting or for your super sticker. Really, really do appreciate you, my dear. Good to see you. And thank you so much, Miss Marie. Good to see you, love. When you pay attention, we all learn. That's right. That's right, Miss Marie. Good to see you, love. Appreciate you. And Nanas to the Dragonfly. How you doing, girl? It's nice. Love you. Love you too, darling. Good to see you, Nana. Hopefully you're well, my friend. Really appreciate you. Me neither. I didn't even have hard labor pains. Me either. We just made a baby. Widow, 14 months. How you doing? Love you, Widow. Good to see you, honey. Happy Easter to you. Happy Easter to each and every one of you if you celebrate. I hope you have a beautiful, beautiful weekend ahead. Hopefully the weather's good. All right, so there's a lot to get to. I don't even know truly where to start. So last night, uh, where should I start? Last night we was going over some of the doors and looking at pictures and going through pictures that we have of the house and all that, looking at some doorways, some shoes, some very interesting sleuth work going on out there. We saw some pictures of Nancy's house before it was updated, after it was updated. She's lived there since literally the uh, the 70s, I believe it is. And Brian, I didn't want to play it last night because I wanted to let Brian, get the views on that. So I want to play a little something here before we get to Nancy Guthrie's about this sheriff. And we dug into the sheriff last night as well. My God, it's bad. It's really bad. What this sheriff has, I don't think he would have ever been sheriff, in my opinion,
Is that
if he would have, if people would have known. You know what I mean? So they, of course, because it seems like a lot of people say that Mr. Sheriff Nanos is a bully, these coworkers are afraid to come out and give criticism and all that. So they naturally blurred his face and his voice and all of that. So let me give credit
the
where
Nancy
credit
Guthrie?
is due. Mr. Brian Enton, I'm going to drop this in the description right now. Um, make sure you are subbed up to Brian because I've got some thoughts here before we get to our main thing today. Mods, if you would please just drop that link periodically. Greatly, greatly appreciate that. Here we go. 1 second. Okay. All right. Let's get with it.
Investigation from what you know?
Speaking with some people that actually know the intimate knowledge of this investigation have told me that there was an immediate rush to judgment on what was happening at that scene.
Immediate rush to judgment with this. And to me, this is very weird. And I'll tell you why. Because if there was an immediate rush to judgment, right, that she walked away or whatever. Yeah, Ginger, it sounds like me when I wake up in the morning. Hello. But if there was an immediate rush to judgment whenever like she walked away or something, why was there homicide detectives? Why did they call in homicide almost immediately? Hey, me and you, good to see you. VOP. That's the question. So I'm not really sure. Like, I'm not saying I don't believe this guy, but, and I'm not saying I'm taking up for Nanos, but he did call in homicide in the beginning, right? And Sheriff Nanos said, we're not really sure if, there was things that concerned us at the scene. I thought that all I think of is the blood. Right. They are just leading people because they have nothing. I don't know. You're probably right. Justin Nano said that was only team available that night, allegedly. What, homicide?
and it was that Nancy had somehow
It was on the weekend,
wandered off.
right?
And so they rushed to that judgment, stayed with that judgment, and then ran the investigation as if this was a search and rescue issue, opposed to a possible criminal issue.
From what you know, were the initial people who responded inexperienced?
From what I understand, the people that were there on the scene were not 10-year homicide detectives. They didn't have a lot of experience in homicide at that point, to include the supervisor, who, from my understanding, never investigated homicide before being installed as the supervisor for the homicide unit.
So this
Listen, I am sorry, but no, I'm not sorry, actually. There should be a law or something in place that if you are going into homicide, right, you need to have homicide under your belt as someone taking the lead. You would think that would be standard, but apparently it's not in Pima County. Right? Like, how do you it's like saying, put us in brain surgery here. We don't know any of that. We don't know any of that. And so there needs to be like an apprenticeship or something underneath a homicide detective. You need such and such stats or hours, or whatever. These something like you're failing. I mean, this was doomed, set up for flat ass failure from day one.
supervisor who first responded to Nancy Guthrie's house had never investigated a homicide?
Correct.
How is that possible?
Plus, you have decisions made by people that will install friends and people that can do stuff for them, opposed to people that are there on their merit and can do the job correctly.
Do you think not enough evidence was collected?
The fact that detectives had to return to that location not once but several times leads me to believe that they should have handled it differently. They should have kept the scene secure.
Listen.
Do you get the sense right now that there's anyone that they're seriously looking at?
The people I've talked to that are still in the know on this investigation.
The people that I've talked to that are still in the know on this investigation tell me that there's no direct suspect right now. Okay. Before we get to that part, he says that, we're talking about clearing the scene too quickly. Everyone said that. Everyone thought it was weird that the scene was cleared within the first 48 hours, and there was just no simple need in it whatsoever. Why rush something, particularly if you don't know what happened to the person? Like if you're investigating that she could have walked off, or if you're investigating she was abducted, or you simply don't know and you're investigating both scenarios, looking at it all. What was the point? Also, here they're saying the people that he speaks with that are still in the investigation, that there is no direct suspect right now. And in my opinion, I don't know if I don't think Pima County is going to solve this. I think it will be, if anyone, it'll be the FBI. Because I think, just in my opinion, Pima County, with the lack of experience, but also I feel like they're looking at the wrong direction, in my opinion. Like, I think they might have had it in the beginning, but then it feels like there was pressure, and now they're looking at something else. I don't know. That's just me.
Tell me there's no direct suspect right now. no name on the table.
Is that shocking?
Not with how the investigation's gone so far. I mean, you have individuals that are either lucky as hell or more cunning than a lot of people have seen in the past. If you take the first, extremely lucky, maybe his luck will run out, but so far it hasn't.
Mm-hmm.
But if you take the second,
No, this person's not. I mean, I think this person is sophisticated, and I do think that, but I don't think it's luck. I think it's failure, absolute failure on Pima County Christopher Nanos's behalf, because you set it up for failure. He set this entire case up for failure. Doomed from jump. You don't got the homicide. The guy's never been, he's the homicide, head of the homicide. He's never done a homicide. Your, brother died, all of this. It just, there was nothing. You're not working with the FBI. Well, what the hell? You can't, of course you can't find him, because everything's a mess. Everything's a mess.
one that he was extremely cunning, there's a chance that he may have covered his tracks so well that we may not find out what happened right now.
Obviously, we're hiding your identity.
If there is DNA from this suspect, and not to mention the labs that Sheriff Doofy Nanos sent these to, they're great labs, but again, it delayed everything. It absolutely delayed everything, made things more complicated than it had to be, did it for spite. I showed you yesterday the absolute chips on his shoulder that he has for the FBI. Look at those interviews. If you didn't see him, he wasn't here yesterday, go back to my live last night. When we played Mr. Nanos, he showed it, said it. He was aggravated, and that was 9 years ago.
Identity right now, because you could get in a lot of trouble for speaking out this way. What would you want to say to the sheriff if you could?
I would say that he ruined a great department. It's savable if he steps aside, and I would ask him to step aside.
How would you describe morale at the sheriff's office right now?
I would say right now it's extremely low.
The morale is extremely low. Yeah. I'm sure it is pretty low. And he's going to talk about how embarrassing this is. And again, I really don't fault as much the homicide guy that is a police officer who was over this. In my opinion, I push that on Nanos, because Nanos was the one who gave him this position, right? He's the one that gave him this position. The guy, I mean, he's probably favored by Nanos. I get that. Apparently, because you got to be favored or whatever from Nanos. But I put it on Nanos more than the detective himself. Yeah, he's got very little experience. All of the officers there almost has a very, very little experience.
This is the lowest I've seen it. There's a lot of embarrassment, especially with the news.
He sent
conversations that he had with Nanos, his interaction with the media.
When the press conferences started happening and the interviews,
I heard someone in chat saw someone speaking about the ransom and stuff like that. Do y'all remember when TMZ reported that there was bank activity in one of the accounts? There was I don't know if it was $70 some or something deposited. It wasn't much money. We never heard anything else about that. I was thinking about that the other day. I was like, whatever happened with that? $300. Yeah, that was it. That was it, Lori. I'm like, what went on with that? Did they just send it because they had absolutely no clue who it was? You know how Savannah said that they believed that one or two of the letters were legit? It makes me wonder. Like, what's going on with it. I didn't know that they released the exact amount of money. It was like $300. Yeah, what happened to the $300? That there was some activity. Like, you should. Is that person arrested? Like, what's going on?
Nanos, what were you thinking?
Shut your mouth. Stop talking. That's pretty much what we were all saying. Is why is he out there saying that?
Yeah. Karen says, from my understanding, they were trying to get a response so they could get tracking info of the wallet. Could be, but like I'm sure they emailed. I think it was on a news site or something, but damn, can't the FBI track that?
Confidence vote. I mean, that every single deputy in the union
I think so.
that they don't have confidence in the sheriff. I think to a lot of outsiders was like, wow. I mean, every single deputy.
Maybe it was a test run.
This isn't the first no confidence vote that we've done.
I don't know.
So it should have been no surprise to him, especially with what's been going on.
I do not blame. I know a lot of people do, and as much as like I side eye, in my opinion, some people in the family that there's things that look weird. I don't think they should have paid any ransom at all. Hey, Green Eyes. I don't think that they should have. You can't, unless he was going to send proof or whatever. And Savannah has put up a $1 million reward. Let's not forget that.
So not only our local community, Arizona in general, but just the nation now sees that we have no faith in Chris Nanos.
Is it awkward for people working there?
I think everyone is walking on eggshells.
What would people in the department want to say to Savannah?
Just to explain to Savannah that just because we have an incompetent lead doesn't mean that we don't care, that we don't want Nancy to be brought home safely.
I think they all care. Maybe besides Chris Nanos, I think he cares about his ego. And I think they're all working hard, but I think they're having to make up a lot of ground.
We're not with her in this. We are completely with her and her family on this.
I really appreciate, obviously, that source for trusting me, for sitting down with me. Obviously, some important information getting out about what is going on behind the scenes, what the source says is happening, about issues with the investigation early on.
All right.
I reached out to Pima County Sheriff.
Yeah, and of course, Mr. Nanos did not contact anyone back, of course, right? Not surprising. Okay, I want to go to our friend and yours, the other Nancy, Mrs. Grace. Link will be provided in the description. I want to show you something here. Check this out. She's getting some information that seems like some new footage might be coming out. They're really working hard, the private sector, and it just shows you, there was no subscription or anything, right? But a second. Nancy Grace. Link is provided in the description. Make sure you sub up our friend, Miss Nancy Grace, the queen of true crime. Yeah, so take a look at this right here. He subbed up. Thank you, Miss Lori. There we go. Okay. Check this out. Do you guys think, there's a poll in chat, by the way. Do you guys think that they are going to put more out on this? And it's been 61, 2 days? And that just shows you that if there's no subscription and they can find this, the internet truly is forever. All right. It truly is forever.
Out of literally trillions of data points. Focusing recall effort is underway on nanos. Is he focusing? I'm Nancy Grace. This focusing on the Nancy Guthrie case. We also learned tonight that there is a possibility more Google images are to come. We were told by Nanos at the get-go, yeah, no video. She didn't have a subscription. And then bam, somehow out of literally trillions of data points, Google makes a save and finds this video. And not just this video from the night Miss Guthrie was kidnapped, but get video from an earlier date. We believe.
Okay. New data points. I really hope so too, Carla. I really want some new video, some new photos, all of that. Now, it also makes me wonder, do they already have it? Do they already have it? Is it taking, are they just now going to put it out? Because I'm like, damn, it's been 60 some days. You'd think they would have had some more by now. Are they just getting ready to put it out? Are they going to have more images or video of inside the house? All of that. Is there just one person? Is there more than one? Nest is cheap. She had the funds who installed her cameras. That's a good question, baby, because I've really wondered that. You know, a lot of elderly people, particularly, they don't know how to set up the cameras and do all the Wi-Fi and Bluetooth and all, stuff. So it makes me wonder, did Nancy or her family have some person set up the account and later came back? I mean, how many times have, you helped out an elderly person or or someone else helped you out with electronics, setting something up? It'd be very common. I mean, she couldn't have installed these cameras by herself, obviously, on the side of the roof and things like that. Someone had to set these up. It's not usually, like a Ring doorbell or something. It's not usually like a company that does it, like you would see like ADT or Vivid, like a security system.
January 11, where the same guy, you can tell by his gait, his weight, his height, same outfit. It's not a twin. It's him.
I'm going to go over something like that in a minute.
Is very casually casing Miss Guthrie's home. This freak was outside her home checking it out.
January 11th, February 1st. February 1st. 2 different days, right? Also, 2 different way the cameras are angled, and that's very important as well. This, it makes me wonder, like, Nancy, I guess, never noticed the doorbell Ring camera being moved, like if it was off its bracket a little bit. You probably wouldn't notice that unless you're really looking, especially if it wasn't much off the bracket. But it's like also if like you were getting ready, if someone was visiting and it's like pressing the Ring doorbell, would it, pop back into place? I don't know. Probably not, because I'm sure that there was probably delivery drivers since in the 3 weeks that hit the Ring doorbell, let them know that a package was there.
11. If it weren't for Google, we wouldn't know this, opening up countless possibilities of other evidence, probative evidence, cell phone data, door cam, you name it, from Jan 11. And joining us right now, a special guest, it's Ari Redbord. Ari Redbord is the Global Head of Policy, Government Affairs, TRM Labs, the blockchain intelligence company. He is a former assistant U.S. attorney in the D.C. jurisdiction and former senior advisor. Find him at TRM Labs. Other images. They're trying to say that there are other images.
Other images.
They're trying to save them as we go to air tonight. How can that be?
Nancy, it's
trying to save other images. God, I hope that they can get more images. I really do. Good Lord. That'll be absolutely amazing. And if they can tell us, what makes me really wonder? So, like a week ago, they was supposed to have gotten another thing back from the lab. Did it turn out anything? I mean, there wasn't an arrest. There wasn't anyone, any other search warrants that we're aware of. But now, like, I'm wondering, are they trying to get more video of this person so they can see if they can recognize this person physically, or obviously more things about them? And maybe something came back with the DNA and they can put the two
extraordinary.
together.
And when I first saw those videos a few weeks ago, it took my breath away. This idea that it could be no subscription, the actual camera could have been disabled, and Google is still able to generate these really extraordinary, chilling images, just to me speaks to the ability of the private sector in many respects. Here, Google's the example, to have just an extraordinary amount of data that can be used in these cases.
They're saving it from, like, I don't know if it's the cloud or the, like the cookies and all of that.
Look, I think if and it'll be when this case is ultimately solved, it will be because of the digital evidence in the case, whether it's cryptocurrency tracing or whether it's this type of evidence from Google. And to me, it's just extraordinary.
Ari, how are they doing it? And if they are doing it, why don't we already have it?
Look, it's really hard to say. They obviously have this data in various servers. Is it taking significant time to find it? Likely. I quite frankly can't believe that it exists at all in many respects. And that's why I said when I first saw this video, it really took my breath away. The fact that we're now able to get this type of information even without a subscription.
Yeah. They haven't showed, I mean, it's pretty much because of the same, they didn't have any cloud service. And I think that's what they're working on now, is more from that Ring doorbell in the front, from out back, and maybe inside. I've wondered also, are they working to see if they can get any of the neighbors' footage as well? Because it seems like they were having a hard time finding a vehicle in the beginning. Remember that?
Even when this machine is disabled, it ultimately could be what cracks this case.
Okay, Ari Redbord, you are the expert. I hate to throw you in the same pot to stew with Nanos, who said, yeah, there's no video, she didn't have a subscription. But yet, there is. And we're learning there's more. And they're trying to rehabilitate it, resurrect it right now. There is more video. Now,
boy, wouldn't that be nice? Let's resurrect more of this video on Easter. Jesus, give us a miracle. Come on.
Do you believe, after your extensive work as an assistant U.S. attorney in D.C., that they have video and they're not releasing it for some reason?
Law enforcement is very usually thoughtful about the way they release information. Here they released that initial video because we needed an image of this individual to put out there in the world.
And that's the thing. Mike makes a very good point. I mean, this video that we see here, you can't, there's nothing to prove that it is any certain person unless they can do like a retina thing. Doubt it. But other than that, it's really hopes that they can maybe identify something unique on this person, around this person, or someone who has, that's seen this new video, and it's like, okay, there's no doubt it's this person, in their opinion, like someone that knows him. I see, that's what I think. I think he's got that scar, or maybe he's had a cleft palate, an accident or something. But the thing about it is, the night vision, the infrared is so, it can throw things off, and like I want to see more video or more pictures just to make sure that really is a scar, because the infrared can do crazy little looks in certain things, and you can't just be sure with one little photo. You know what I mean? You can tell a lot about someone just by the way they walk. He wasn't in any hurry, that's for sure. Oh, thank you, Amanda. Thank you so much, my friend. I appreciate that. Very kind of you.
They have that image out there. Assuming there's not a better image of this individual, then maybe these are really critical investigative leads that you don't necessarily want to share with the public. Law enforcement is always thinking about, what do we need to put out publicly to help our investigation from a crowdsourcing perspective?
Hold on. I just saw something. Let me look at this.
Necessarily you want to share with the public. Law enforcement is
1 second here.
Always thinking about, what do we need to put out publicly to help our investigation from a crowdsourcing perspective, and what should we be holding back in order to not share what we have necessarily with the suspect and not hurt any other leads.
Mm-hmm. Another thing, Ari Redboard joining us from TRM Labs. I believe that the reason the first guy was pulled over and questioned.
Yep. You're absolutely right, Widow Baby. A lot of the particularly the newer Ring cameras and all of that, they're in color now. Unfortunately, not this one. I wish this was in color. It would have helped us significantly.
Was because he made multiple deliveries in Miss Guthrie's home. He's a delivery person.
I don't see it. I don't think that's, in my opinion, I don't believe that's why they went to Carlos. I don't think it was because of delivery at all. Now, I think Nancy's going to say something here in just a second. They need someone who is around that house either on the 11th, right, the 31st, or the early morning of the 1st. If you're there 3 hours, 6 hours after Nancy vanished, so there's a lot of people that passes by, that may walk by, that may deliver a package or whatever. I don't think it's that. Is something wrong with YouTube? The chat isn't moving. It's moving for me. You may need to go back out, Christy, and come back in. Sometimes it'll freeze like that. It's been doing that for.
And they got that from CAST, Cellular Analysis Survey Team, by a data dump of all of the cell phones in that area. Then we have neighbors, so to speak, in the loose sense of the word, way down from Miss Guthrie. Their vehicles were seized. They were rousted out of their home at night. They were also questioned and released because I think their cell phones had movement in those hours between, midnight and 4 a.m. I think that targeted them. Tell me what the FBI is doing now to track down.
Yeah, it's jumping for me. Like sometimes chat will like jump.
Any red flags in the cell phone data dump and the Wi-Fi data dump. It's happening right now. What are they doing, Ari?
They're doing a lot. They're looking at every possible piece of data that they can on any phone that they have associated with this. They're trying to triangulate location, right? It's not just the cell phones. It's where they're hitting off those cell towers. And essentially what you want to understand is, hey, who was in this location at this time based on this Nest Cam footage? And they're really trying to triangulate. Now, there's likely a lot of people who were in this general location. And that's why we've seen some of these stops. But the reality is those are going to continue.
Ari Redboard, you told us previously that you would need to see a substantial sum of money transferred from the Bitcoin account in order to track it. Well, I disagree because I think there are other ways to track it.
Okay.
But that's just me.
Remember how I was talking about the $300 here? We never heard anything else about it. I should pull up that TMZ when they were reporting on it, that there was some activity.
When you say substantial, how about a small amount of money? Why do you need a substantial amount of money to track the Bitcoin?
You need any amount of funds going into the account. However, what you're ultimately going to see there is likely funds going from an address controlled by the family or by a representative into that alphanumeric Bitcoin account that's in the ransom note. But that's all you'll see. Really, what's really critical is what happens next. Where does that address, that ransom address, send funds?
Again, I think I don't know. Obviously, none of us know who did this, but I really think that they will be perhaps back at least one of those houses that they did a search warrant on. I can't imagine them doing 2 search warrants and literally nothing. It's less than 7% generally that there's absolutely nothing with the search warrant. It would just be very surprising to me the way that they interviewed. I've heard that Luke is, I think he might be filing. Did he file a lawsuit against Nanos or whatever?
Do we have attribution? In other words, have we associated that address with any illicit activity before? And then the real coup happens. The breaks in these types of cases happen when funds go to a cryptocurrency exchange to cash out, right? Because the reality is that you can't really buy Bitcoin to buy anything in a meaningful way today. You need to convert it to more usable, cash, to currencies. And that's the key, because that cryptocurrency exchange has that underlying user information on the account, the name, the social security number, email accounts, telephone numbers. And that's when law enforcement really starts running with these other leads.
That from our friends at Fox News. Straight out to Just Scott Morgan joining us tonight, professor of forensics, Jacksonville State University, author of Blood Beneath My Feet on Amazon, and star of a hit podcast, Body Bags with Joseph Scott Morgan. But tonight, his purpose is as a death
I don't know. That's a good question, Shell. Do you think someone could be in the house before and Nancy didn't know, which would explain going in and out in different days, and the bag and control of Wi-Fi? Maybe she caught them that night. I think she was caught off guard. I think anybody would be, if strangers in your house, right? Particularly if you're sleeping. what makes me wonder is the neighbors who have the 2 cameras that's a few houses down when their dog took them out on the 11th and the 31st when Nancy was at her daughter's house and her son-in-law's house. There's multiple reports that we have the guy on camera on the 11th, right? We have him on camera. So there was someone around that house the 11th. Now, I was thinking about this. We keep saying that this guy came from the back, right? He came from the back. He broke in most likely from the back. Those 2 doors were, wide open, propped open or whatever. If that's true, and I'm not disagreeing, but why did he come to the front door on the 11th? Why did he come to the front door on the 11th? I've not heard anybody speak about that. Right? Like, why did he come the 11th and take that doorbell camera? And if he came on the 11th and he's screwing around with this doorbell and he moves it slightly, why didn't he just take it that night? Because he clearly moves the doorbell. It's in a different location. It's moved, right? And why were the back doors propped open? So I don't know. I do not know on this one, guys. Like, this one is really weird. There's a lot of very bizarre behavior on this. I mean, just the way the guy is acting in general is very bizarre for someone who's about ready to kidnap or unalive an 84-year-old woman, which doesn't happen in the first place. Right? And, you would think, was this guy going to do it the 11th? It was on a weekend. The 11th was on a weekend. The 11th was on a Sunday. It was technically in the hours of most likely Sunday morning, which is when Nancy was abducted, except it was on the 1st in the early hours of the morning. So was this guy going to do it that day? Did he chicken out? I think they need to go back, if they can, even further. Because this guy could have been staking out this place in December. I think it was a practice one. Well, this person clearly was doing their homework. Again, I don't think this guy is on a Mensa. I don't think he's got his Mensa card in his wallet by any stretch of the imagination. I just think he's very prepared with all of this, and I think he's lucky because Pima County Doofy is dum-dum. How many thumbs up do we got in the other one, Ginger? We got 1,600 people watching. Guys, please hit that thumbs up button or double tap that screen. Thank you so much, Miss Erin. Could they have taken the camera off on the 11th, put a bug in it to be able to watch her movements and way of life closer, then put it back? I mean, is it possible? I think anything is possible. I don't think it's probable, in my opinion. I think this person, in my opinion, already had access to Nancy in some way, shape, or form. I think, again, you look at this camera. There's cameras inside. Why didn't they take the cameras inside? Why were they so worried about the camera on the outside? Hey, Karen Collins, good to see you, hon. Thank you for hitting both streams, Wendy. Appreciate you. So, no, I just think this person knows Nancy or is affiliated with her in some way. This is financial, or she knows information, or she's really, this person feels like they're pissed off by her in some way, shape, or form, that they were wronged, damage that they can't repair from. They feel like something like that. Again, the question is, if the two cameras weren't working at the neighbor's house, and to me, the neighbor's house, it's kind of far away. It's kind of far away. And for those 2 days to not be filming. And if those two weren't filming on the 11th and the early hours of the morning, and the cameras inside Nancy's weren't filming, how did the perpetrators know that they weren't filming, but the one outside could get them in trouble? I love the late lives. Thank you so much, dear. Appreciate you, Aaron. Hey, Thomas, thank you so much, my friend. Appreciate you. Don't these door cameras, i.e. Nest or Ring, usually try to push or upsell the subscription service all the time? Yes. I don't think she didn't know. She didn't know. You don't think she knew? Is that what you mean? Or she didn't know? Okay. I mean, this is the thing. I think Nancy was I always say, I think people who have cameras and have extra locks or deadbolts are not the type of people that generally keep their door unlocked. You have people that are what I call serial lockers, right? They will check the door at least every night, or whatever. I was a serial locker before I had door locks that automatically locked on their own. I would lock, people in my family out. It was just a habit. Just an absolute habit that I would just automatically lock, and people family, they'd go outside or whatever and come in, they're knocking on the door like, why do you lock the door like that all the time? So she had cameras. People who have cameras, they are more conscious about their safety and security, generally speaking. Not 100%, but I don't think she kept her back doors unlocked. I just don't. I think particularly being by yourself as well. Some people do. Some of the neighbors say that they kept their doors unlocked, but everyone that they interviewed was an 84 years old who lived alone, and they lived with other people as well. That's just my opinion, though. There might not be a lot of crime, particularly in that neighborhood, but there is quite a bit of crime in Tucson. I'm OCD about locks. I lock people out all the time. Yeah. Yep. As far as the service, again, I don't think Nancy set this camera system up. And it seems like, particularly with the model camera that Nancy has, it seems to me like these cameras have been installed quite some time. They weren't just recently installed, in my opinion. It's not something that these cameras were installed a couple months ago. And to me, that says a lot too, right? If there is someone that has these the login information or can access the app, well, it's someone that was given login information, or it's someone that is family, friends. It could even be someone, for instance, where she maybe was on vacation and someone was watching her dog, and she gave them the login information to look at her dog or whatever. But it's got to be someone really close, in my opinion. Really close. Thank you so much for that, my dear. Appreciate you. Hey, Miss Michelle. Thank you, love. Appreciate you very much for your support. Nancy's dog died in December. Yes. Did dog die of natural cause? I believe so. Could the dog have been poisoned? I think the dog was old. I'm pretty sure the dog was pretty old. Maybe the camera would pick up the perp around that time. That's interesting. That's interesting. I'll double check on that. That's a very interesting question. From what I heard, the dog was old, but if the dog wasn't old, what have you seen people that really are mad at a neighbor particularly, or someone do? They've poisoned their animals. You've seen it before. So that's an interesting point that you could look into for sure. Lock all the doors. Okay, widow. Yep, baby kisses, exactly. Wait, was the dog found past? The dog died in December. That's
investigator with over 10,000 death scenes under his belt. Notice I didn't say homicide scenes. It could be accidental causes. It could be natural causes like a heart attack, suicide, unexplained, or, of course, homicide. I want to talk to you about Nancy Guthrie's bedroom. Could we please see the clip from the Today Show? This is one of Savannah's visits home. I want you to see that. Apparently, nothing was disturbed in the bedroom. Nothing turned over, nothing out of place. But interesting, I see a hardwood floor and a
this is a window. I was always thinking this was a door.
Rug, as well as a comforter, which opens up countless possibilities for DNA evidence and more.
Now, this is the thing, though. This is a very old video. Does Nancy still have the same bed, the same rug, the same furniture? Some people will, particularly elderly, they'll keep it forever and not, change a bed or update or anything like that. If it's not broke, don't fix it. But she may have updated everything as well. We don't know. Thomas, thank you so much. Maybe she had service at one time but didn't renew. Correct. A lot of times they'll give you trials and people just forget to upgrade them as well. Yeah.
This is from our friends at Today on YouTube. What about it, Joe Scott?
Yeah, absolutely. These are smooth, non-porous surfaces. excluding the rug. If you're looking at that floor, it could either be poured concrete or it could be hardwood in there. And yeah, when we've talked about electrostatic lifts previously in this particular area, if you could have gone in there and secured the scene to begin with, you could have done these lifts. And what I mean by securing the scene is the first thing that you do, Nancy, is when you see externally, and any investigator worth their salt knows this, you see blood or what appears to be blood deposition outside of the house. Guess what? In that moment, the entire scene is locked down. It is held. It is treated as a homicide. And let me tell you one more thing that just came to mind relative to this case.
They say Nancy was a wonderful housekeeper. And you could tell because she wanted to do that piece for her daughter about how particular she was about the sheets. Like the sheets looked like hotel sheets, right? There was not a wrinkle in them or anything like that. What's the saying? Zsa Zsa Gabor said, "I'm a wonderful housekeeper. Every time I divorce, I keep the house." Sorry.
When we see this guy stomping around outside and he's visible on that Nest Cam, Nancy, you know what I found? A major clue that has just arisen. That area outside on that front area, as you access the front door, Nancy, that's already broken down into grids for us. If they had locked down that scene, if they had secured that scene from Jump Street, they could have held that area. Do you see how this area is broken down into
You know something? That's a good point. Hold on. 1 second. Let's look at this. Look at this, guys. I don't know if her dog was old or not. 1 second. I want to show y'all some pictures here. Check this out. I don't think her dog was old. Let me show you 2 pictures. I'm going to come back to this. Interesting. TC is the one holding the dog in the Christmas photo. Watch this. Nancy is clearly, this isn't that old of a picture. Right? And then look at this. Let me find it. Check this out. I wonder what happened to that dog. But that dog is not 18 years old. There's no way that dog's 18 years old. Unless she gave it a perm job. Or a dyed its hair. Which I don't think she did. That's not Nancy's dog. Why is she always holding this dog? Or why is this dog always taken in pictures? One dog is, so this dog is Savannah's. Her dog had cancer, according. I heard her dog was old, but I've never seen a picture of it. Why is there showing pictures of Savannah's dog? The dog went to the salon every Tuesday. Hmm. Hmm. We'll see.
Very specific grids. You can actually see where he places his feet.
Made it look like
If they had locked it down until they had this
at.
videography, that means nobody has access to this place. We watch where we put our feet. They could go back and do electrostatic lifts right there, and they could have maybe, just maybe, raised a shoe print out of that. But of course, that's all gone because they released the scene. So if they had held it,
Did it look like a little what's the a little what's the like the Wizard of Oz dog
for that
little
moment in
terrier?
time, they could have done electrostatic lifts just within those grids and maybe have hit a jackpot.
Joe Scott, everywhere I go, I'm asked about Nancy Guthrie and the case. A common question is
I think it's him.
the blood on the front porch.
Toto.
What if Mrs. Guthrie was taking an anticoagulant? You know, there's so many of them. Eliquis for one. That's one my dad was on. I don't think that would make a difference.
What do you mean gone?
In the blood deposition, or am I wrong? By the way, guys, this is from Fox News. Go ahead, Joe Scott.
Yeah. Hey, listen, Nancy. That's why our viewers are so bright, right? Because they think about all of these things, just like you. They kind of follow your lead here. Yeah, blood thinners is something we've talked about in forensics for some time relative to blood deposition. There was a major study that was done on warfarin, which is also known as Coumadin. People are very familiar with it. It's a real old drug. Guess what? There is no appreciable changes in blood deposition relative to how it presents and whether somebody is actually on a blood thinner. Okay. Now back to the blood thinner itself, and we can talk about Mrs. Guthrie's health. Is
that's what they say. They say that you really can't tell in the composition of if someone is on blood thinner or not.
That is essential. That's essential for her to have, all right, in order to thrive. But if she is bleeding at that moment in time, it's not going to necessarily impact the deposition of blood or change it. Now,
but it does change the volume. It can change the volume of blood, right? Like, because that's the whole point of being on blood thinner, right? Is if you're on blood thinner, you bleed more, faster, generally. Might not change the composition, but it does or can change the volume.
Now, what is interesting, though, and I've pointed this out before, and I think that maybe even Baden had alluded to this at one point in time.
Oh, I got two
with those droplets that you see deposited on that front stoop. He recognized, as do I, that blood appears to be aerated. And the only way you get that is that if it's coming from the nasopharynx area. What does that mean? Well, it means the nose and the mouth. So that's going to have a significant...
I think I do not think it came from the mouth at all. At all. Maybe the nose, but I am still not convinced. To me, I'm kind of 50-50 on the aeration kind of thing, but I certainly don't think the mouth. Okay, yeah, okay. So Savannah has a picture with her kids here in an article in USA Magazine, December 17th, 2024. Today, host Savannah Guthrie welcomes a, quote, new family member, end quote, just in time for the holidays. So they got that dog in right before, and it was a little puppers. They got the dog right before Christmas of 2024. Savannah, you're a serial locker. I think it was either a nosebleed or a squeeze bottle. I don't think it was a squeeze bottle. Whatever it was, in my opinion, this wasn't dripping out on her, right? You know, if you have a nosebleed, have you ever had a nosebleed in chat? I've had nosebleeds. I used to get them real bad when I was a kid. You always put your head out like this because you don't want it to get on you. It's just a natural instinct. I think it could have been that. I think they could have been carrying her over their shoulder, or something like that. But I also think it could be the hand or the arm. But I think nose, hand, or arm most likely. Really, Sherry? You've never had a nosebleed? Wow.
Difference in appearance as opposed to, let's just say we get a cut on our.
I mean, look at her skin. Look at her arm. Bless her heart. Look at her here. Look at little Nancy. Look at her hand there. Right here. See that? Poor thing. Bruised. Terrible. If you are familiar with being on blood thinner, particularly Coumadin, warfarin, you have to go get your levels checked. If it's too thin, too thick, and you have to do that regularly. So they are constantly taking your blood. So it makes you bruise. You've never had a nosebleed either? Yes, dry air can absolutely cause nosebleeds. Yes. I would bet it was the hand or arm. I think it was probably more the hand or arm, in my opinion. I used to think it was aerated. I don't think it is now, based upon, I don't know. Sometimes I look at those. I think I don't know. They was in this one spot for a minute, and with the satellites, you see that the biggest pile. It's really a tough one for me.
On our arm or on the back of our hand. That blood's not aerated. Okay. That means that it doesn't have little oxygen bubbles in it. It just kind of drops away and you.
But this is the thing. I don't know. If those are oxygen bubbles. Could be. You know how we were talking about the prints? Let me show you something here. I noticed something in this blood picture, and it's amazing how you can look at something a billion times and not see something and then notice something again. Let me show you something here. You know how we were talking about the shoes and all that? Check this out. We keep looking at all this, but I was noticing this right here. Like we noticed this right here. This clearly looks like a shoe mark right there. But this to me looks like it might be part of the tip of the shoe or the side of the shoe, this right here. And then you see there's something right there. To me, that might be part of that shoe, like the side of the shoe. You know how the side of the shoe, let me show you what part I mean. I think it might be something like this right here, part of somewhere right in here. Get what I mean? we keep looking at everything else, but I really think, in my opinion, they need to look at this. I do think this is a print. I think this is all where they stepped in it, in my opinion. Might be a little bit there under the shoe. This is kind of like the side, maybe. Get what I mean? Yeah. Maybe they had okay, thank you so much. I agree, Justin. Now that you showed up that close, wow. Yeah, it's a shoe mark. That is absolutely a shoe mark. You can see that, yeah. Nobody was looking at this little part right here. And I think that's very important. Very, very important. So was the mat, but the dumb people didn't take it. So annoying to me. So annoying. Okay, here we go.
You get this kind of dark pattern with the blood. You can actually see serum separating after a period of time, but it's very, very dark. With aerated blood, you'll see little bitty oxygen bubbles contained within there, and sometimes it'll clear out the center.
I mean, it's possible.
And I think that that's what I'm seeing based upon I'm roughly basing this upon the quality of that photograph. We have to understand that that is not a true crime scene photograph. So the quality is not still up to snuff, but it's what we have to work with. That looks like it came from the nasopharyngeal.
Guys, if you are just joining us, please hit that thumbs up button. Greatly appreciate it, or double tap that screen.
Area, Nancy.
Appreciate y'all being here.
What do you make of questions regarding with her thin skin? And I saw this in my dad, and I'm seeing it now in my mom.
Bookworm, they should have, we don't know exactly. I mean, they did test some things there. They went back and tested some things, but they should have taken that door off. They should have taken that rug. They should have taken that bracket off that camera sooner than later. I'm sure that they did test some things, but they had all the time in the world and cleared the scene within 48 hours, and they had reporters and delivery guys and all kinds of stuff walking up to the house while there's blood on the fucking porch. You know, at the very least, and I've not heard anybody talk about this, blood is a biohazard. Okay, it's a biohazard. They should have put caution tape up if they weren't going to clean the shit in the first place. I get mad. I get so mad at this because it just shows the lack of professionalism. The very lack of professionalism. It's just crazy. I understand that police aren't in the cleanup job. Totally get it. I've worked at 3 funeral homes. I've seen it all, truly. But you don't leave a scene. Like, if, God forbid, that there's an accident out, you know, on the street or on the road or something, they'll have the city come by and spray it off or whatever. It just shows you that there was just no thought or care in this, in my opinion. Just absolutely careless. You know, I've heard, I hope that's wrong, baby. I've heard that. I've heard like that. They didn't even see the blood. I pray to God that's wrong. Now, Brian came up and said, oh my God, there's blood right there. I mean, I do know Brian did find it, but I don't see how they could have missed the blood. If they missed that blood, if they truly missed that blood, we're screwed. Just absolutely screwed. Of the highest caliber. Screwed.
very often. And there's a photo of Nancy Guthrie sitting outside in a lounge chair, like a picnic chair. There it is. And you can see, especially on
Well, to me, it's not that, it's not that they should have cleaned it up or not. To me, it's just the fact that there was no caution tape that was left up, that this is a biohazard. You don't have someone, particularly when there's media outside, you don't have reporters, people's around there. You already cleared the scene, so media is going to be everywhere. Just blood everywhere.
left hand. That's where my dad had it a lot. The blood under the skin. Many people are asking, would the slightest nick, possibly transporting her out the door on her arm or leg or hand, could that have caused the bleeding, not an actual attack like a blow to the face?
I hope you, Jeremy.
I doubt it highly. Just looking at the blood deposition based upon the photographs I have to go on, I think that it would have more of a robust, a darker appearance to it. Perhaps if that had originated, say, from the back of the hand, and
if it is true that Brian found this first, that just says that they never looked out. They never looked outside, and I just don't see that. I really don't. I really don't see it. I mean, how can law enforcement investigators not see blood on the inside? Did they find the blood on the inside and just didn't look outside? Is that what it is? You don't look around the house? So I'm not sure. I really hope.
As we all know, as we age, our skin and even our vessels become a bit more fragile. That's the reason we have these what appear to be contusions that kind of appear on our skin, appear more robust. And we also get swelling. You can see her ankles. You can see the backs of her hands.
Yes.
So that all comes with aging.
Yes, there was blood inside. On the other side of the door. Okay, we're going to go to something else in just a second.
Okay, I don't think Nancy Guthrie was kidnapped. The last people to see her alive were her daughter and her son-in-law. Tommaso, the son-in-law, supposedly dropped her off at her home. But what if that didn't really happen? What if there was some kind of an argument at the house and it got very, very heated and someone did something, whether it be the daughter or the son-in-law, and Nancy Guthrie died. They hatched this scheme to call this to make it look like a kidnapping.
Okay. That's disturbing on so many levels.
I know Nancy doesn't agree with this. And, I have to, I think it's probably, I don't want to speak for Nancy or anything, but I feel like it might be very uncomfortable for her to even, because she knows Savannah personally, and it's a tight spot to be in. But I just don't see how, in my opinion, you can not see that something could be very wrong here. So I just think Nancy's might be in a tough spot to talk about that. You know what I mean? I don't think anything should be ruled out either.
That's from The Real Jim Duffy at TikTok. But at least he's thinking through the facts and coming up with this theory. Maybe I'm wrong. Straight out to Dr. Bethany Marshall joining us, renowned psychoanalyst out of the LA jurisdiction. She is the author of Deal Breakers, and you can see her now on Bravo as well as Peacock, and find her at drbethanymarshall.com. Dr. Bethany, maybe I'm wrong, but haven't they been cleared? LE said They're clear. They're not suspects. They reportedly passed polygraphs and their vehicle has been returned. So why? Why is this still happening?
You know, Nancy, of course they've been cleared. Of course it's not the family. This has been going on for some time.
I'm not saying it is the family. I'm never going to say it's 100% anybody because we don't know. But again, if Sheriff Doofy has made mixed statements about everything and everyone the day before, nobody is cleared, not even the family. Next day after he says that, next day after he says that, family is cleared. You should be ashamed of yourselves whenever the day before he said that. Again, the last people to be with, we say a 96% chance off the bat, it is someone that the person knows. And that is usually the last people that they're with, statistically. I'm not saying it is, but statistically, it's the last people they're with or the people, persons, family, friends, someone they know. Okay? And again, if you can clear the family, go ahead and clear Carlos, Sheriff Nanos. Go ahead and clear the Dailies. Go ahead and clear. Also, if they're clear, tell us certain ways how you cleared them, right? I'm not saying give us the investigation or anything, but say something to the effect of, well, we have them on camera being at their house all night, not leaving the house. We have their phones, them being active on the phone and at their house at a certain time. Right? I mean, I don't think it's fair, in my opinion, to say, you should be ashamed of yourself when the day before you said, nobody's cleared, not even family. And then, you're saying that, the family's having a hard time, and I don't disagree with that whatsoever. But so would Carlos and so would the Dailies if they are 100% innocent as well. Then go ahead and do that. You don't want to make their life harder. And again, that's not going to get everyone to stop and say, oh, well, my opinion is still something's weird, but it would get the vast majority off, in my opinion. Thank you, Savannah. Can the blood have been staged? Yeah, it could have. Do I think it was? In my opinion, no. I don't think it was at all. It could have been staged, but there's usually enough already going on in a perpetrator's head of hiding a crime, hiding a body, or moving the body, them not getting caught, a lot of things. And you most people aren't getting like a bottle and taking blood from the person and putting it in a bottle and just dripping it randomly. So I completely doubt that. But there are people that says, oh, the blood could have been staged or something. anything is possible. I don't think it's probable, though, in my opinion.
But with this TikToker, I see a certain sort of arrogance,
It sure does.
a high estimation of his own beliefs and theories, a low level of regard for critical thinking. I see something called
For fuck's sake, I totally disagree with this lady. Sorry, Nancy. I disagree with her. I normally agree with some of the things that this lady says right here, but no, not with this. Not with this. When you talk about critical thinking, look at the statistics and look. I mean, how? How the fuck do you think no critical thinking here? Come on.
proportionality
Sorry.
bias. And what that means is if it's a big event, it must have a big explanation.
Well, I do agree with that. A lot of people make things a lot more complicated than most crimes really are, and they do that because they need to explain away something, and they'll say something like, for instance, and I'm not like the blood is planted. Don't think the blood was planted, but I don't understand how someone cannot question Sheriff Nanos with this whenever they're questioning him about everything else, literally everything else, about how he investigated that the main homicide person that he put in charge has never been on a homicide before, and you're clearing people. Come on.
If there's a tornado, it's because God is mad at us. If somebody goes missing, it's because it's a vast right-wing conspiracy. Most people are frightened at the thought that something really horrible could happen to their loved one, their family member, their child, their parent. And maybe it's just random. Maybe it's because there's one or two bad people in the world, not that there's this big, huge theory that makes it all simple and makes it all go away.
What did you call that? What was the term you just used, Dr. Bethany?
Proportionality bias, meaning if it's a big event, Nancy Guthrie going missing, there has to be a huge explanation. The idea that it could be a big event, Nancy Guthrie goes missing, but it's a simple or random explanation. For example, this may sound silly. A new kitty cat I have went missing 5 days ago. I decided that she'd gotten out a window, that coyotes had eaten her, that I was a bad person. I fell into a depression. Then friends and I found that she had just crawled into a little drawer. So my mind, in order to secure myself in that situation, came up with this huge, huge theory.
Thank you, Sent. I agree 1,000,000,000% with your comment. Saying the family did it isn't a big explanation. A big explanation would be trying to connect this with the Epstein files, right? Or Bill Clinton or whatever. That would be a big explanation. Very, very true. And just so you know, the last thing anyone wants to think about is that someone close, particularly family, did this to an 84-year-old woman. But then there really are no statistics for 84-year-old women this happening to. So I don't get her. I don't take her point. I just don't.
It made me feel like, I don't know, somehow in a strange way safer, that things don't happen randomly, other than my little fluff ball just climbed into a drawer and couldn't get out. It was a really simple explanation. I think that's what we're going to find at the end of the day.
I do agree with it's probably the most simple explanation. And the most simple explanation is that it's someone that they generally know, and statistically it's someone that last seen them. So I do agree with you there, but we kind of disagree at the same time.
Pretty simple explanation driven by normal human motivations like attachment and greed, and somebody who is targeting Nancy in a way that's fairly predictable, and we see at all levels of society.
Wow. The way you explained that was very helpful. Also joining me, in addition to Dr. Bethany Marshall, is Brian Fitzgibbons, Director of Operations, USPA Nationwide Security. He leads a team of investigators around the world finding and extracting missing people. He is a former Marine and an Iraqi war vet. What about this? I get everything Bethany just said, but what about cold hard evidence disproving this conspiracy theory? One, according to reports from law enforcement, Nancy Guthrie's pacemaker spiked and disconnected around 2 a.m., which means she did return home from dinner the night before.
Okay. Now, again, I have looked everywhere and again, please, if I am wrong on something, please send it to me so I can find it, correct it, or whatever. I'm asking you. We've heard of this her heart spiking. I might email Nancy on this or text her producer or something on this, because I want to know where this is coming from, because the only place I can find where it spiked was a doctor saying it might have spiked in the hours, or this could be whenever it was checking its connection. Right? I cannot find any. I mean, if the police or anyone said that, please let me know, because but on the timelines and all of that, I can't find that. You could be in the trunk of the Orange Perp new. Does anyone know where the actual spike? If you can, Kelly, please, because Google Nancy Guthrie heart spike, okay? And the first thing comes up is the New York Post. And it says, Nancy Guthrie, 2 a.m. pacemaker. Let me find it here. This is what I find. Let me show you this. Because this, if we have actual data on that, great. But look at this. This is what I find about the 2 a.m. spike.
I just checked my bank account and there's 10,000.
Okay, great, girl. Nobody cares. Okay, 1 second. Let's get through this ad real quick. How long is the damn ad? I want to show you what they say right here. Two seconds. Okay, here we go. Listen to this. Listen to this.
A pacemaker not only has the ability to create a heartbeat, trigger the heart to beat, but it's also a sophisticated monitor of the patient's heart rhythm. And a pacemaker is programmed to check in once a day, just to check in with its communication device, and then ultimately the app that monitors it once a day. Typically that's at night. So at 2 o'clock in the morning, that's all it might have been doing. The other possibility is that it actually might have detected an arrhythmia.
Okay. An arrhythmia or a spike, right? So, and that's what the thing talks about there is I have not seen where law enforcement has talked about this spike. Again, I could be wrong on this, but I just need to see.
And was in her home and her pacemaker was working. And then there is the porch guy video. That happened. Google does not have a dog in this fight. They did not make that up. He was there around 2 a.m. the night of the kidnap.
Yeah, yeah, I can read it. 1 second. Yeah. Let's see here. Nancy Guthrie, heart spike. Nancy Guthrie's 2 a.m. pacemaker spike on. God. Okay, move the ad. On the day she vanished could mean that the elderly woman was involved in a heart rate struggling with her own possible captor, a lead cardiologist speculated Thursday. Quote, if a person is in a physical struggle that might have created a rapid heartbeat, the pacemaker would have detected that a potentially reported it, end quote, Dr. Jonathan Reiner, who was the former vice president of Dick Cheney's cardiologist, chillingly told CNN. Arizona authorities previously said that the 84-year-old implanted medical device stopped syncing with the Apple device, including a watch and iPhone around 2 a.m. Sunday, close to the time police believe she was abducted at her home in Tucson. Nancy was last seen the night before when she was dropped off at her by her son-in-law at 9:45 a.m. The investigator reached the home hours after she was reported missing around noon. The device was still when her devices were still inside the house. The disturbing revelation comes as the desperate search for Guthrie continues into its 5th day Thursday. A pacemaker not only has the ability to create a heartbeat, triggering a heart to beat, but also has a sophisticated monitor of the patient's heart rhythm, and a pacemaker is programmed to check in once a day just to check in with the communication device, and then ultimately the app that monitors it once a day, end quote, he explained. Typically, that's at night, so 2 o'clock in the morning, that might have been all it was doing. Did you send it to me, Kelsey? Can you send it to me? Let me play this. Will you send that link to
Fight
me?
with that.
Yeah, this theory blows past a number of things that we know to be facts in this case. And beyond the facts that you just mentioned, I think we're all aware, and anybody who follows your show is well aware, that family members are under the highest level of scrutiny from law enforcement when any missing person case. Okay, so with all the resources of the FBI, all the resources of Pima County, and we have statements from Sheriff Nanos, from
yeah, I was reading it from the CNN
law
thing,
enforcement, direct from the source, that they have been cleared in this case. I think it's time that narrative can be put to bed once and for all.
I hope, Fitzgibbons, that you and Dr. Bethany are sitting down. You may have to lay down for this. You mentioned the family. Well, Christy at 125-12382 says, I still believe members of the family has something to do with this lady's disappearance. That's why no suspect apprehended. The culprit is right under their noses. And she extrapolates right here. Check it out. There's something about those eyes. I see nothing about those eyes that are even remotely similar. So let me throw this to Fitzgibbons and Dr. Bethany.
Now, I do agree that this is not Tommaso. This is not Tommaso. It's not Tommaso. It's not Tommaso. You remember that 90s? It was it was like the dinosaurs, not the baby, or something like that. It's not Tommaso. It's not Tommaso. It's not Tommaso. It's not. This is not Tommaso. This is not Tommaso. Now, again, to me, it means it's not Tommaso. But again, it, in my opinion, doesn't mean anyone's still cleared. Not the mama. Not the mama. Not the mama. I haven't thought about that thing in freaking since I was like 7 years old or something. I don't know why that immediately came to my head. I completely forgot about that show. What was that show called? Land of the Lost or something?
Have you heard the old story about the 5 blind guys asked to?
And this, a lot of people's been asking me this. Why wouldn't she take her 10 p.m. medicine? Where did everyone hear the 10 p.m. medicine? Dinosaurs. That's what it was. Dinosaurs. Thank you, darling. Appreciate you. You going to bed, Brandy? Love you, darling. Good night. Thank you, Michelle. Appreciate you. Your support. Thank you, darling. Really appreciate you. Oh my God, I almost ended the stream. Oops, almost hit the wrong button. Thank you so much, dear. Appreciate you. I believe she did not take her phone. You don't think she took her phone? I think she would have taken her phone. I've heard a lot of people talking about this 10 a.m. medicine, but I don't know if a creator just said this or if it came from a source or whatever. So I'm not really, I mean, she may have taken medicine at 10 p.m. A lot of people do, but again, I don't know if it's just because people are repeating it. You know what I mean? Why is Nancy reading random theories off the internet? Who thinks Porch Guy is Annie? Never heard anyone suggest that. Has she ever mentioned Galina's text about the Bitcoin? Derek, good question. I don't know.
Describe what is before them, and they feel and feel and feel, and they all describe something vastly different. Why? One is rubbing the elephant's ears. One, his trunk. One, his hoof. One, his tummy. And one, his tail. In other words, they are extrapolating based on the little information they have. So I am not faulting the real Jim Duffy or Christy Kerr. They're going on the little bit of information they've got. They don't have the whole picture. Neither do we.
Well, nobody has the whole picture. Nobody has the whole picture. That's the problem. That's the problem. I just don't think that we can say, based upon what Sheriff Nanos said, we can take that to the bank. I just don't at all. Nancy Guthrie update: FBI presuming best lead in the case report. Okay, someone sent me this. The case for discussion. Many people believe that Bitcoin cannot be traced, and tonight we're learning that the FBI believes that their best lead who took Miss Guthrie, Nancy Grace, referring to the Bitcoin ransom request that they were sent to the family early on in the investigation. Okay, I'll look at that a little bit. Key detail could have prevented abduction, says SWAT commander. Okay, I'll look at that a little bit, Sassy. Thank you, honey.
But you know what? I got to give them this much. They're trying. They are trying to solve the mystery. Okay, that said, they're totally wrong, but they're trying. Let's listen to this one.
And listen, Nancy, could be right, but I just feel like because Nancy has a personal, she knows Savannah, and I feel horrible for Savannah, truly do. So I feel like it might be a weird spot for Nancy.
The feds are sneaky, according to the Broken Place TikTok. Listen.
Anybody else keeping up with the Nancy Guthrie? That video that came out of that door cam, it looks staged, y'all. But the feds are real sneaky. And I have a feeling, I don't know what...
I don't think it looks staged at all. I disagree with her there. I don't think it looks staged at all. I think it doesn't look like a traditional someone who's getting ready to break in. And remember, the guy was there the 11th. The guy that was there, he was there the 11th in different clothes. So come on now. It's not staged.
They're after what they're doing, but
again, extrapolating the 5 blind guys in the elephant. Dr. Bethany, she's seen the porch guy and she mistrusts the federal government. I mean, who doesn't? Really? That goes way, way, way back. So she's taking those 2 true facts and turning it into, what was that? The FBI director, was that Kash Patel out there on Nancy Guthrie's front porch with a balaclava on? I mean, that you have to follow it through to its logical conclusion. What is she trying to say? That the feds fake this whole thing?
Well, I think what you see here is
feds didn't fake it.
Massive distrust for political institutions, which I think we all share, especially right now. So there's that. And with the 5 blind guys, they're extrapolating from what they see right in front of them. What if these conspiracies?
I mean, this is the thing. People have to... Your brain naturally wants to make sense out of things, most people, and so they'll say easy things to get them to that place in their head, which is things like, oh, they'll make up like Epstein or something nuts, this or this or this, but it's just not a far out limb, in my opinion, to say that potentially the last person that's seen Nancy could be involved. Not saying he is, because I have no clue. Well, I think, sometimes, I mean, I get it, because sometimes, like, I'll point out like someone doing some crazy things in a case, just so I can, like, because people will send me a bunch of stuff and it'll be like something wild, and I just want to tell my subscribers, like, you might want to look at this. Don't really pay any attention to it, because it's just outlandish and it's fake or whatever. So I think that might be the route she's going, just trying to be like, I don't know, just me. These were the best videos that they could find about the family doing it. I don't know.
Conspiracy theorists are extrapolating from their own history. For instance, the one who thinks it's the government, maybe she's going through a tax audit. The one who thinks that the family members did it, maybe she had a toxic relationship with the family member. Maybe she had a fight the night before where she screamed at her spouse, "I wish you were dead." So somehow these personal experiences then creep their way into the conspiracies. And I think furthermore, Nancy, all of these TikTokers, I want you to look at their faces when we hear what they're saying. They are so certain that what they're thinking or saying is true, which suggests to me a need to create order in their world.
Yes. And I just said the same thing. But again, you're very sure as well, ma'am. Okay? You're very sure as well. Why are you believing Sheriff Doofy? Again, everyone is innocent until proven guilty. Totally get it, understand, and agree. get it. Understand. Nobody, and I don't think anyone should be saying a family member or anyone else 100% did anything. I don't think that's fair because we don't have everything in front of us. But how you cannot question family in this is weird to me. It's weird. Guys, please hit the thumbs up button or double tap that screen. We're 15 until we get to 1,000 thumbs up. And Green Eyes is not even a mod and is working their butt off to get their thumbs up. Thank you, Green Eyes. You're always so sweet. Yeah, and I'm just not going to be shamed for questioning something that anybody's going to question. And this woman is so sure that family is not involved, that she's taking Sheriff Nanos's taking his whatever he says, that the family isn't involved, whenever even afterwards he said the family's not involved for now, even after he publicly shamed us. But then also criticizing Sheriff Nanos for how he's worked this case. It just doesn't ring true to me. It just doesn't ring genuine to me.
World, certainty, certitude that whatever they're thinking is true and correct, which leads, as you know, Nancy, to too heavy a reliance on intuition, bordering on I'm psychic and I know better than everybody else because I have some inner little voice that's prompting me forward, but pay no attention to the truth because I mistrust that.
Okay, another one that you and Fitzgibbons may have to lay down for before you hear it, but I warned you. Listen.
So Nancy Guthrie, do you have any message to Savannah or to your family?
Now, I'm about to agree with them 100% on this stuff. I respect everyone's right to their belief. If you want to believe in a coconut shell, for all I care, whatever your belief is you do you. I, however, in my opinion, doesn't make me right, doesn't make me wrong, I do not think particularly these radios that skip to different stations that'll blurt out a word here and a word there should not be. People run with these things as a fact. Oh, well, this spirit box said she's right here. Well, 2 billion other spirit boxes said something else. I think it's I think some of the worst things in the true crime is in my opinion the psychic stuff. I do. I think psychic stuff is absolutely fine for other things or whatever. But I just don't agree with it in this case with someone. There's just no factual anything in my opinion. I know a lot of you guys believe in psychics and stuff, and that's fine. I mean, when my grandmother died, which was my mama, I was so desperate I contacted a psychic. She was horrible. She had great reviews, but she got it completely off. I was like, okay, when you're desperate because you just want to know something or whatever. I think, but absolutely horrible. She was horrible. I was like, that's not my grandmother. She's like, oh, your grandmother's got the most beautiful white hair and, just kind of like a stereotypical granny. This woman had great reviews. And my grandmother wouldn't have been caught dead or alive with gray hair. I was like, okay. Yeah, gotcha.
Miss you. And I pray that there's a resolution to this, hopefully one with a happy ending. I don't know that that is going to be the case at this point, but at least closure for...
And guided comfort. Yeah, you're right. They have said that the family are not suspects, but they spent a lot of time in their house taking those pictures, etc., took the car apart. And to me, it's not what they say, it's what they're doing. Right? It's not what Nanos is saying, it's what is doing and all that. Justin, I used to do that for a little while, and I was depot on a lot, but it's not from God. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, it's... I'm not going to knock anybody for, what they wanted. I think it's just not, in my opinion, but it is what it is. Everyone has their own belief. That's just I'm one of 8 billion people. I'm not going to tell anybody how to live, or anything like that, or I just don't think it's right.
Your family, okay?
I love Nancy. Oh my God, look. Watch her face. Watch this. I can only imagine what she said behind the camera right there. What the fuck, she probably said.
It's very rare that I can't think of something to say, whether it's completely off point or inappropriate, but that has left me almost speechless. That's from Hope Paranormal on TikTok. Fitzgibbons, was he actually pushing a button to make the recording, the voice of Nancy Guthrie, respond? That looked a kid's metal lunchbox.
I'm surprised that machine worked so well when he wasn't wearing a tinfoil hat while using it. And here's the deal, right? For any of these paranormal
I mean, yeah, you're wearing a tinfoil hat if you're doing that stuff.
researchers and psychics and clairvoyants that are weighing in on this case, I have a simple message. There's over a $1.2 million reward. If you want to prove to us that your information is accurate.
I know, exactly. I agree with him there. If it's so accurate, there's $1.2 million on there. Let's find Nancy. Let's move on. There's a lot of other cases, we need to find Nancy though. I can't either, Ratui. But she said, Kelsey just said, oh my God, did Brian just crack a smile? He's always looking like hard into the camera. I bet you his elementary school pictures was like this.
Right. Package it up and send it into the FBI, right? But this nonsense of a noise machine supposedly communicating with Mrs. Guthrie to send a message to her family, it's really disturbing that people are giving this an audience.
Okay. I'm not giving it an audience. Okay. Don't throw me in that pot to stew. I'm saying that those tips, please do not clog up the tip line with that. But there's another level to this. Dr. Bethany Marshall, not long after my dad passed away, I had someone completely unrelated to me approach me. I believe I was at HLN, CNN at the time. approached me and tell me my father had communicated with them and wanted to give me a business decision.
Now, I remember Nancy, she did a segment with Tyler. But, reality TV is not reality, just so you know. You're not. So, there's that. I think... put a 1 in the chat if you've ever been to a psychic or went to a psychic. Or put a 2 in the chat if you... Or even like your horoscope. I think everybody has, it's entertainment a little bit or something, Or you've been desperate, you just need something like when your loved one dies or whatever. Palm reader. Only once. You've never, Ginger? Michelle, Savannah, Mama's Devon. Baby kisses 0. What is 0? Here. No psychic, no. Yeah. Never. That's very interesting, Little Red.
Business advice. I'm like, I was polite.
Do you guys remember Sylvia Brown? Remember Sylvia Brown? Yeah, I think Montel. Yeah. In 2003, there's gonna be wars. Remember her? She charged $900 for a reading. Her son is psychic too. He only charged $400 or $500. I used to do there's this guy, his name was Randy. They called him Randy the Great or something like that. He used to challenge the psychics and stuff like that. She was on Oprah a lot. I knew she was on Montel a lot. But there was a time when she was doing true crime on Montel's, and she said, "Oh, yeah, honey, they're dead." That's what she did. She's like, "Yeah, honey, they're dead." And they looked at each other like that. And I can't remember who it was. You can Google it. But the person was like they were found alive or something, but they just wanted answers. And poor Montel, he's trying to smooth things over. And he's like, I can't remember even what he said, but he's like, yeah, well, spiritually, they might have been, the 9 lives of the, lunar eclipse or something. It was like, yeah. Oh yeah, Miss Cleo. Call me now for your free tarot reading. I just saw an interview on her recently. She went to prison and she lost it all. And she's not like a Jamaican lady. Justin, I think Janie would make a good psychic. Can you imagine channeling Sylvia Brown? I mean, Janie is pretty much Sylvia Brown.
I listened and then walked away.
She sounds like Sylvia Brown and she lies for Daniel. So
it was so intrusive and so wrong. I'm pretty sure if my dad wanted to communicate with me, he would come to me directly. But that said, that's hurtful on so many different levels.
However, if you've watched my channel, you guys know I was a very big skeptic and I didn't believe in like the, people coming to you or anything. I've still never seen a ghost. I would shit myself if I did. However, I did have 2 things happen to me on the same day at the Summer Wells thing, and I didn't like it. Never had anything since. Don't want anything else again, really. But that did make me believe like something might be out there.
Nancy, of all the TikToks you just played, I found this one to be the most cruel because he's claiming to have a direct line to Nancy Guthrie. It creates a sense that he's unique and has insight above all others, which is yet another motivation for conspiracy theorists. Nancy, we all rely on intuition. You wrote a book called Don't Be a Victim. And
yes, and I do believe in intuition. I think, we all have intuition, and how our instincts is given to us by God, or whatever you want to say, the universe, whatever you believe in. I think animals have them as well. Michelle, thank you so much. The black terrier was Nancy's, not Savannah's. The neighbor confirmed to Nancy Grace. Really? To me, that made the most sense, Michelle. That makes the most sense. Oh, Lovey's house. I've talked about it. I was in the a hotel room. I was at Summer Wells's it was either 1 year or 2 year anniversary of her being missing. And I was in the shower, and I'm like shampooing my head, and I hear ding ding, and I'm like, what the hell is that? And I finished rinsing my hair, and I look down, and there is a dime and a penny. I still have them. And the dime and the penny, I'm looking like, where the hell could it come from? Right? I don't carry cash or anything with me ever. Like, ever. And I didn't where'd it come from? There was no shelves or anything on the shower. It was just a wall, and it had like pumps built into it. And I'm like, oh, that's really weird. So I'm like kind of creeped out. So I'm like, hurry up. I would get out of my apartment because I was getting ready to go to the vigil anyways. And they were like 110, which is Summer Wells. Her address was 110 Ben Hill Road. 110. 1 dime, 1 penny. 110, right? And then I get to one of the last places Summer Wells was seen, and that was what we call the horse pond. And I'm sitting in my car talking, I'm live, and Tim Mullins pulls up, and he's kind of connected to the case. He was the media manager, real funky guy. And I'm talking just crap about him, and he pulls up next to the side, and I'm like, guys, there's Tim Mullins, like that. And I look over, and the chat asked me, they said, well, who were you talking to, Justin? And I'm like, I'm not talking to anybody. What do you mean I'm not talking to anybody? They thought I was talking to someone out my window. I wasn't talking to anybody. And they said they could like hear me speaking to someone else. Like someone else. And I'm like, and that the 110 thing had just happened to me 30-40 minutes prior, and people were like freaking out. I still have that live stream. Thank you for that, Michelle. Thank you, Dawn. Appreciate you. Absolutely adore you, Justin. Thank you for your chat. Oh, thank you so much, Dawn. Appreciate that. Really do appreciate that, honey. It's very kind of you. Thank you for your support. I saw my grandmother and aunt, and I was getting in a shower. Ghost is reflective. Water mirrors like a crystal. I don't know. I don't ever want to see anything. If I seen a ghost, I would probably crap myself.
Somewhere in there, I'm sure, you wrote about relying on that sixth sense, looking around, seeing.
And truly, I'm 40 years old, and I've never seen anything, and I'd never experienced anything, and I didn't want to experience anything. I'm pretty skeptic about that. Like,
what's really going on. But this guy, he actually uses it as a cruel, malevolent weapon with low levels of conscientiousness in terms of how this would impact the Guthrie family. How painful to see their own mother's voice mimicked, mocked, and distorted for some cheap form of entertainment. This one I did not, I couldn't even find remotely entertaining.
I agree. I found it hurtful on many, many levels. Brace yourself.
This is all I'm going to say about Nancy Guthrie. Anybody who knows old people knows that there is no such thing as an 84-year-old woman eating dinner at 9:30 at night. That has not happened since the dawn of man.
No, Queen. No. You're wrong. You're wrong, Queen. Sorry. What is this Queen talking about? Oh, come on. Don't eat dinner at 9:30. What are you talking about? Of course, people eat dinner or whatever time they want.
Some ain't right.
Do you promise that's all you're going to say about Nancy Guthrie? Please, please. I'm going to hold you to that. That's Who's Matt Brown TikTok.
Yeah, no one
My
said she ate.
daughter comes home from school and she wants to eat supper right then. She's 18. My son wants to eat at 9 o'clock at night. So I guess since Nancy.
Oh, sorry, I was muted. I just, and nobody said she ate at 9:30. She got back at 9:30. She left at like 5:30. She left at 5:30. There's a 4-hour period. So let's say she ate at 7:30, right, with the family. That's a normal dinner time. Right. That's a normal dinner time. 6:30, 7:30, 8:30. That's a normal dinner time. There's nothing wrong with that. Right? Some of my distant family from Asia, they don't eat till 9:30, 10 o'clock sometimes. That's their dinner time. It depends on culturally and who you are and all that. So
Guthrie wasn't at the senior citizen early bird special at 5 o'clock, that there's something wrong with that. So the point is, these conspiracy theories are coming from every which way. But I want you to hear this one. And I love them when they start with, I'm
usually eating snacks at 2 a.m. with my titties out. Like, I don't care. Who cares what time you eat or don't eat? It doesn't change anything.
I don't usually believe in conspiracies, but that should prepare you for what's to come.
I'm not typically a big conspiracy theory person. I like to hear about them, but I don't often actually believe them until I read a comment on my recent Nancy Guthrie video suggesting that Nancy could be teleporting. So this conspiracy is that we can't find Nancy Guthrie because she's actually teleporting.
I'm sorry. Baby, you're a brilliant young woman, but you can't be serious. You cannot be serious about this, are you? Teleporting? I haven't had dinner yet, LOL. Yeah. I mean, who cares? Who cares? Like, teleporting now. Great.
Like kind of Stranger Things vibes. Maybe she's teleporting into the Upside Down. Maybe she's teleporting to Paris. We don't know.
These people are... No wonder AI is... No wonder we're going to have robots taking care of us in a nursing home when we're older. We're screwed.
When I read this,
There's no...
I was laughing because, like, obviously she's not teleporting. But then the more I think about it, the more I'm like,
You're convincing yourself,
I don't
darling.
know, guys. Like, what if she is teleporting?
Ray Shapiro at TikTok, let me put your mind at rest. You can dismiss the theory that Nancy Guthrie is teleporting. You can just put that right out of your mind. Don't worry.
I mean, who's ever teleported to begin with?
Worry about it anymore. In fact,
Did she just start teleporting at 84 years old?
you need to go lay down and rest.
Yes, you got to
Listen to this. This is one of my favorites.
Here's my Nancy Guthrie conspiracy theory. So I heard earlier today that the Pima County Sheriff's Office was involved with a reality TV crew. It was a show about Pima County. I think that the reality TV people are involved in one of two ways. They got down.
Reality TV people, it's not reality. It's not reality. Okay, don't reality TV. One of my very good friends privately is on a reality TV show. They've done probably 10 or 15 seasons. Reality TV is not reality. Okay. It's all scripted. And Sheriff Doofy, you can't do anything more. He's trust me. He's
there and realized that the
doing
Pima County Sheriff's Office is not interesting enough to make a reality TV show about. So either they were going to go a long way to create some drama, or the sheriff was going to go a long way to create some drama.
I can't believe. I mean, I guess there's someone for everybody on the internet. There's someone for everybody on the internet, they say, but
You know what I really like is when she gets to the really juicy part. She starts talking like this. Okay, that's from Veronica and the Baby Boo on TikTok. Now, granted, the last two I've shown you before, but they were just so great I had to show them again. We are flooded every day, every afternoon, every night with theories. And a lot of them are actually pretty good.
Some of them.
In this and other cases. And we discuss them on air. That said, please do not call the official tip line.
Yeah. Don't call them and say Nancy, Grace, or Guthrie is teleporting. Please. Don't say that they don't eat dinner past 9:30 if you're 84. That's freaking ridiculous. These people are lunatics. Okay, moving forward here. Onward and upward. Guys, if you're just joining us, make sure you hit that thumbs up button or double tap that screen. I really do appreciate you all being here. Was called Desert Law, filmed in Pima County in January of 2026. Next, they'll say that Nancy was training secretly at NASA to prepare for her going. Yes. Yep. She's going to the moon right now. She's, you know something? She's probably the camera. They're going to say she's probably the camera man for the mission. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Makes every expert say everything he does.
This is Cheryl McCollum. She is. I love Cheryl. She's got good horse sense, as we say. She makes a very interesting point here. She's not the FBI. Who is she with? I can't remember who she's with.
Makes every expert say, I've never seen this before. I think the reason you've never seen it before is because he's not okay. Even look how he acts at the front of the door. Everything he does makes every expert say, I've never seen this before. I think the reason you've never seen it before is because he's not okay. Even look how he acts at the front of the door. He ain't in a hurry. He sees the camera. he does that weird thing with his hand where he's not really, covering the lens. It's almost like he's making the letter C. That's weird. Then he goes to these flowers. Once he gets the flowers, he pulls some of the leaves off and then breaks them, comes back to the camera and is trying to manipulate them to like almost hang them. He walked past 100 rocks and all he had to do was just bust the camera real quick, but he's fooling with these flowers. I believe this person is not well. I think mentally he's got some challenges going on, and that's what we're seeing. Everything he does makes every expert say, I've never seen this before.
Do you agree with Cheryl there? Do you think this guy's got some psychological issues going on, or what? I don't know. I mean, I think you have to be psychologically bent to do this to an 84-year-old. Or is he just not planning very good this part? Okay, Don. Love you, darling. Former Deputy Travis Reynolds, who they claim has been released on bail. I saw him at Nancy's house when Tommaso, Annie, and Savannah were there in arm in arm laying flowers at the memorial. My grandkids seen their rocket go up there in Florida. I don't know. Okay. Even Dr. Gary Ricardo says he doesn't look all there. I don't know how I feel about it. Some people say like he's might be under the influence. So, oh, I gotta show y'all this. I forgot to show y'all this. Check this out. When did this come out? Well, it really makes me wonder if they saw at minimum need a crime tape around. Okay. It's blurry. I can't show you that. All right. Someone sent me this. I want to see what this is real quick before I show you this. What's this? I don't know what this is. I haven't seen it, so.
Okay.
Oh, this is Dad's going live?
Her doorbell camera is right there.
Stephanie Glitterlight.
There. Her house is at a slight angle. There's Paul's house. You're looking at Paul's house. Now look, her door is right there. Let's go directly in front of her door. We're going to buffer a little bit, but we're going to stand directly in front of her door. So, her door is actually right here. We're directly in front of her door. There's the other two lights. These lights are also always on. See that? There's the house on top of the hill.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And it says no outlet.
There is Paul's house through the trees. So a lot of people think they see cars up there because the lights. Paul's house. And then the grumpy lady's house is having a pool built. Pretty crazy, huh? Let me zoom out a little bit.
Yeah, I think she's...
There we go. Now you can see both. Paul's are the small lights on the right. Grumpy lady on top of the hill that's having a house built on the left. See? Let's go stand over here. This right here is where a lot of people thought they were seeing the back end of a car, or maybe the front end of a car right here. So thinking they're right here. See, oh, it would have been right here because you can barely see it. So this is possible. I do think maybe it was parked here, walked up, broke in, and then backed up, took Nancy off.
Yes.
And then here, walked up, broke in.
I don't know if they backed up here. I mean, they could have been parked down here. I don't know. But I do believe they they pulled right up and pulled to this sidewalk where the arrow is. I'm showing you the pointer. And they took her out.
And then backed up, took Nancy off. Or, dude, those marks that we saw on the road or on the driveway on the second day come to right here. I think he put in a wheelbarrow.
You know, there's a wheelbarrow behind the house on one of the cul-de-sacs that's just laying there. Someone was telling me, like behind Nancy's house.
That's pretty wild, dude. Okay.
I mean, they could have, but I think someone took them right. I don't know. It's possible. Daphne did a whole show on with maps and all. Yes. Yeah. There's. When was this? Pima County Sheriff is did he do a new interview? You cannot attack my department. Attack the sheriff, but you will not get by with attacking my department. When did he do this? Ooh. I did not know this. Did y'all know Doofy did a new interview? Yesterday. Oh, God. How do I turn this down? Okay.
The Pima County Sheriff goes one-on-one with News 4 Tucson, defending his homicide investigators on the Nancy Guthrie case after questions surface about their experience level. News 4 Tucson's Cassie Scott explains live from the Pima County Sheriff's Department. Cassie.
Represent.
Monica, Sheriff Chris Nanos wants to set the record straight. He didn't mince his words. He has total faith in his department.
I bet you do.
Facing backlash over his department's handling of the Nancy.
I want to see something. Yeah, pulled right there. Right there. I got a question right here. Think about this. Let's think about Tommaso dropping her off. If you were going to drop off your mother-in-law, she might normally go through the garage, but are you going to pull up here and then back out? Or are you just going to pull around here and let her off at the sidewalk? I don't know. I might make it easier on them. And like if I was Nancy, I'd be like, yeah, just pull me up here so you don't got to back out all the way. Because if you back out, well, I guess you could back out. You could turn around right there and go out like that. She doesn't usually use that door.
Backlash over his department's handling of the Nancy Guthrie investigation. Nanos wants to clear the air.
But you cannot attack my department. Attack the sheriff, but you will not get by with attacking my department.
With reports coming out that his investigators made mistakes in the early stages of Guthrie's disappearance, this is what Nanos had to say.
Discrediting an investigation like this doesn't help anything. It's very harmful. No, we don't believe there were any mistakes made.
He goes on to fight back against public accusations that the lead in.
I can't with him. I can't with this mofo. I really can't. He said in one interview that, yeah, they might have made some mistakes. Now he says no mistakes whatsoever. And so you're saying the free country can't genuinely criticize you of their opinion.
Investigator on Guthrie's case has never investigated a homicide.
This sergeant's been the supervisor of homicide for over 2 years. And in that time, he solved some pretty significant, very high-profile cases for this area.
You know something? I hope to the good Lord Brian Enton gets some more interviews, because apparently Doofy, Nanos, people from your department is saying that this guy, and it's been reported even before Brian, that he's never solved a homicide. Everything, Lovies, everything he is. Oh my God.
The Reddington homicide, the Goodwill homicide, and they solved those within days.
As for the recent reports that he should step down from being our sheriff,
For 50 years, every sheriff here has had that. I can't listen to that. That's white noise.
and reminds Tucson that there is more than one union that represents Pima County Sheriff deputies.
Well, they might have, there's always people that's not going to agree with you, right? Let's be real. There's people that's not going to like you, no matter who you are, no matter what person you are, what sheriff, what individual, whatever. It's rare that nearly 100% of your people do not have confidence in you. I bet you that's never happened. And they probably have never voted and had a petition to get the sheriff out.
They aren't all against him.
That one organization is 1 out of 5. They represent less than 20% of the department.
Meanwhile, he says he will continue to protect his team when it comes to their work on the Guthrie investigation.
I'm not going to stand for it. These people work hard every day to keep our community safe.
Not only did the sheriff talk about the pride he has in his team, but he also went in depth on the disappearance into Nancy Guthrie and the impact that false reports have had on him and his team. We're going to have those stories next week. For now, we're live at the Pima County Sheriff's Department. I'm Cassie Scott.
He is so full of it, y'all. My God, I've never seen someone like him. Like, ever. I also think they're going to find out he had a criminal relationship with the treasurer. There's a lot of questions. A lot of questions there. All right, guys. I think that's going to be it for tonight. It's 12:14 a.m. and I still have to finish editing a video. Nanos equals comedy at its finest. I agree, Jason. It's bad. Really bad. 300 out of 400 officers voted for him to leave. He says only 20%. That's only 20% to him. That's his math. Thank you so much. Thank you, guys. All right, guys. Much love. Appreciate you all. Thank you all for joining. If you would consider hyping this video after this live stream, commenting down below, hashtagging justice for Nancy, hello, anything, smiley face, whatever, it all. Really do appreciate you being here. Let's hope Nancy's found soon. Let's hope there's some new video that comes out soon. That would be great as well. Sheriff Nanos needs to get his nanos out of being a sheriff, in my opinion. Thank you, guys. Good night, everyone. Special thanks to mods, members, chat, everyone. Good night. God bless.